Hi, I'm Bob. I'm Vice President here at Netta. Been in the industry a long time, over 30 years. I've always done commercial/institutional type projects. I've obviously worked on various projects here at the firm. Currently, I'm working on the Hudson County Courthouse. They wanted something that would work well for the public, but at the same time, security is paramount, right? So you're always juggling those two things. Do they feel comfortable in what can be a stressful situation? At the same time, protective design, whether it's ballistic, whether it's blast, all of those things that are important to keep a secure facility for the judicial department is really key. It's really going to be a new urban space within Jersey City. So it was really important that, for instance, Hoboken Avenue gets converted into a through pedestrian area. Again, the same thing. You're allowing pedestrians to come through the building, or in essence under the building. At the same time, you have to be cognizant of all of the security parameters that come with that. So I think the biggest challenge is the fact that it is a courthouse. So you have inherently the functional requirements of a courthouse and what that means. Obviously, you have the interaction between the public and the judicial system. The challenge is really just kind of looking at all of our consultants, kind of being the manager of those consultants and making sure that at the end of the day, we fulfilled what the county expects their courthouse to be like. So I think it comes down to process. At the very first stage, schematic design, what we're looking at is listening first and foremost to the client. What are their actual functional needs? What do they expect? What are their expectations relative to the project? And obviously within budgetary constraints. And then from there, schematic design is all about explaining what we are doing to the client. So visualization is really important. The client can really understand. Sometimes when you look at architect's drawings, it's just too complicated. If you can narrow it down to this is what you're going to see, this is what it's going to feel like inside this building, those kind of things, that always helps that part of the process. Then we get into design development, and there we're looking at materials, we're looking at systems, all of these things that can overwhelm a client at times. And so what we like to do is put all of those things in a format that they can understand. Lastly is construction administration. You think of that as kind of the nuts and bolts of the project. Again, sometimes that gets into nuances that a client might not care about. But the idea that you communicate with them honestly about the process, where it's going, what they need to know relative to construction administration. So the idea that we can kind of narrow that down to stuff that is important for the client is really key. So I think in terms of the culture here, two things come to mind. We don't believe in the silo effect where you're stuck doing one thing. Typically, when you're on a project, you're on it from schematic design all the way through construction administration. So you see all phases of the project all the way through, and that's really important for young architects to understand the entire process, and that goes a long way in terms of their maturation. The other thing that we believe in is mentoring, and again, that's so important for the young architect that they see a firm where they know they can grow, that they're going to have support. That's really important, that a young architect feels comfortable that they can go to somebody, get guidance, get mentored, and that's what Netta provides, is that kind of support system for young architects.